A small town in Minnesota, a late-night drive home, a phone call for help, and a sudden final cry. Oh shit! Then, nothing. For nearly an hour, a father stays on the phone with his son, guiding him through the dark. Brandon describes fences, fields, the sound of running water, and the distant glow of lights. And then, silence. Brandon Swanson was never seen again. What happened in those 47 minutes has haunted investigators, his parents, and the entire town of Marshall for over 17 years. Brandon Victor Swanson was 19 years old. He lived in Marshall, Minnesota, a farming town of 13,000 in the southwest part of the state. He had just finished his first year studying wind energy technology at Minnesota West Community and Technical College in Canby. His parents, Brian and Annette, describe him as responsible, intelligent, and close with his family. Friends say he was grounded, funny, loyal, the kind of guy who always followed through. He wasn't troubled. He wasn't a risk taker. He was a regular 19-year-old making plans for a promising future.
He said he was fine, that he was not injured. And, in fact, when we did find his vehicle, there was no damage to it. It was simply muddy from being on a gravel road, but no damage to the vehicle.
It was May 14th, 2008. Brandon drove from Marshall to Canby, about 30 miles, to celebrate the end of the school year with his classmates. Witnesses later said he had a couple of drinks, but wasn't visibly intoxicated. Just after midnight, he got into his green Chevy Lumina and started the drive home. Rural Minnesota highways can be disorienting at night. There's no streetlights, no city glow, just flat fields and gravel roads stretching endlessly in every direction. Around 1:30 a.m., Brandon missed a turn. His car slid off a gravel road into a ditch. It wasn't damaged, but the wheels were stuck. At 1:54 a.m., Brandon called his parents. He said he thought he was near the town of Lind, about 10 minutes southwest of Marshall. He asked them to pick him up. Brandon stayed on the phone with his parents as they drove. He described his surroundings: gravel roads, fences, what he believed were lights from a nearby town. But when they arrived in his area, they saw nothing. No Brandon, no car, no signs. Frustrated, Brandon told them he would start walking toward the lights. Brian, his father, stayed on the phone as Brandon walked. For 47 minutes, Brandon described the path he was taking. He mentioned fence lines. At one point, he said he could hear running water. He kept moving toward what he believed were town lights. Then, abruptly, he said, "Oh shit." Then the line went dead. His father called back immediately. No answer.
As long as Brandon was on the phone, as long as he was talking, as long as we had contact, it was okay. We would be okay. But the minute that that call dropped, I just became sick. I knew it was wrong. I knew it was very, very bad. We called his name. We tried to, thinking that he still had the phone, that it was very near him, that he could pick it up. He'd hear our voice, and we called out to him several times, and we realized, he's not there.
Brian and Annette kept driving, searching the area for hours, calling Brandon's phone again and again. By morning, they went to the police, but the police didn't treat it as urgent. One officer reportedly said, "He's an adult. He has the right to go missing." His parents insisted something was wrong. They had been on the phone with him. They heard it. Later that morning, officers began searching. They eventually located Brandon's car, but not near Lind. It was found almost 25 miles away, north of Taunton, near the Yellow Medicine County line. The car was in a ditch, doors locked, headlights still on. No Brandon.
I finally called the sheriff's department at approximately 6:30 in the morning.
So right when the sun was coming up?
Finding the car launched one of the largest search efforts in Minnesota history. Police, firefighters, volunteers, and hundreds of community members joined the search. Bloodhounds picked up on Brandon's scent from the car. The trail led along gravel roads, through fences, and down the Yellow Medicine River. Then, it appeared to cross to the other side. That changed everything. Search teams believe Brandon managed to cross the river, but on the far side, that trail grew faint. Some dogs continued into the fields. Others lost the scent entirely. Searchers swept more than 120 square miles. Boats with sonar, divers, ATVs, shoulder-to-shoulder foot searches. They found nothing. No wallet, no keys, no shoes, no remains. What happened to Brandon Swanson? Theory number 1, drowning. The river was fast and high from spring runoff. He could have slipped and been swept away, but multiple sonar scans and dives found nothing. Theory number 2, exposure. Maybe Brandon made it across but collapsed from hypothermia. That night, temps dipped into the 40s. Yet after years of searching, no trace of him has been found. Theory number 3, foul play. Brandon's last words still haunt his father. Did someone else find him that night? Did he startle an animal? Or did he fall into something unexpected? Police say there's no evidence, no tire tracks, no struggle, just silence. Theory number 4, intentional disappearance. But this seems the least likely. He stayed on the phone for 47 minutes. He wanted to be found. To this day, there is no definitive answer. In the years after his disappearance, Brian and Annette turned their grief into action. They fought to change how missing persons cases are handled in Minnesota. In 2009, Brandon's Law was passed. It requires law enforcement to treat all missing person reports, regardless of age, as urgent. Police must begin an investigation immediately. The law was named for the son they never found, but it has already saved others. A young man walks into the darkness. On the phone with his father, he describes fence lines, the sound of water, distant lights. Then one sudden cry, and silence. 17 years later, Brandon Swanson has never been found. Did he fall into the river? Did he collapse in a field, lost to the elements? Or is there something we're all missing? What do you think happened that night? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to hear more unsolved stories like this one, don't forget to subscribe to the Icy Bridge Files.